basically, I'm the person in charge of the technical infrastructure and technology roadmap for Eleven. Eleven basically is the public cloud services from Centel. Right? It's not a separate company, it's a separate gig, like OTB, like expand data center, right? So to us, what is cloud computing? Well, it's just a natural evolution of the good old days co-location hosting, your private board and all that. So we take it as the next evolutions of the hosting space businesses. All right. Centel itself, we have around 8 data centers in Singapore. So it's quite natural for us to progress into this business. We're in the business of providing open rack space whereby customer can actually come to Centel and rent rack spaces. We also provide private boat, or what some people call it private suite, whereby customer can actually rent a whole data center space from us just for single tenants. And right now, what we offer under the cloud computing space is basically you as a customer, you do not need to rent any rack space from us. Basically, you just subscribe to the service. We provide the infrastructure for you. So our infrastructure, basically the base offerings, basically compute resources and storage. And we have other value-added services that I'll elaborate later on. Right. So as I mentioned, for us, for Centel to go into cloud computing space is really quite a natural progression. And we as a telco, besides the data center space that we have lots of connectivity. So we can provide all the different kind of connectivity for customers, be it internet connectivity, point-to-point list lines, or point-to-multipoint, or multipoint to multipoint list lines. And my big bosses take this as a game-changing kind of opportunity as a form of transformation for our existing Centel businesses to multimedia kind of businesses. So some of the key considerations for customers who basically when they want to adopt the cloud computing, this is some of the key considerations. So basically some of the key drivers is like driver number one. Basically customers do not need to invest, spend any capital expenditures or capex in buying infrastructure. Basically if you need it for a period of time, you basically just subscribe to the service. We provide all the infrastructure in place. And it's quite easy to deploy. You do not need to wait for your typical procurement processes to require the resources and all that. And we also provide self-provisioning services. You can actually, as and when you need, you provide your own resources and start it and get it going. We have a new brand called Power On. Power On is basically our overarching branding for cloud computing. Anything on demand, we actually tag on a branding called Power On. Alright, so recently we just launched another cloud computing services, our new data center in Kim 2. So we call it Power On Compute. We also have Power On Bandwidth and all that. Basically, what you can do is that you can actually turn on the bandwidth on demand. So previously, let's say you subscribe 10 meg bandwidth from telcos. Typically, it takes a couple of days to basically to push up the bandwidth, let's say to 30 meg. Today, we actually have application that allows customers to come in to actually turn on the bandwidth. Let's say you need to 30 meg, we actually can turn on the bandwidth to 30 meg within an hour. Alright. So we actually just launched another cloud computing services. Basically, that one is based on the VMware vCloud data center programs. Alright. I'll touch on that a little bit more. Alright. So this basically we have two key offerings. We have software as a service, which I think probably not of interest to most of you. And the other one is basically infrastructure as a service. And our public cloud, basically, Centel for our Power On, we are public cloud. And other public cloud, we offer virtual machines. Basically, your CPU resources and the storage. And we can also provide physical machines. So unlike some providers, basically they only provide virtual machine. We actually provide physical machine to customers as well, especially for those high-performance computing kind of workloads. So when we first set up the infrastructure, basically we set it up in such a manner that we can host different kind of workloads, be it the web transactional kind of workloads or high-performance computing kind of workloads. So when we talk about high-performance computing, something like your Hadoop, whereby you are actually harnessing a clusters of server for the computational powers. Right? So the key offering is basically the CPUs, and storage. Of course, we have other value-added services like acceleration as a service. Basically, this is more relevant for those transactional kind of workloads whereby you need to do application delivery control, basically load balancing across a cluster of servers. So we actually have physical appliances that actually do the load balancing across different servers. We also do SSL termination or SSL offloading. All right. Backup as a service, basically for customers who hosted with us, you want to do backup of your virtual machines or physical machines. We actually back it up to another disk-based kind of backup solution. All right. That will give you e-verification as well. We also provide monitoring as a service. Basically, when you subscribe to the service, you will be able to monitor your own virtual machine or physical machines down to CPU utilizations, your network I/O utilizations, and and your RAM utilization. You can also actually monitor the uptime and downtimes of some of the applications. We also have partners like CompuWeb, whereby if you need to measure the performance of your web server hosted with us, what is the performance from different locations around the world, we can do that as well. Basically, we partner with them to offer these services called GoMax. Right? Content delivery as a service, basically that is something like Akamai today. All right, we have partners. Basically, we can do CDN services, whereby let's say today your customer you need to serve different set of customers around the world, right? So what happens is that CDN services basically replicate that static content across all the servers located in different parts of the world, so that when your consumer came in, first thing that hit, right, you won't hit the origin servers hosted with us. You hit the nearest server nearest to the customers. That would reduce the latencies of the response time to customer. Right? Security as a service. At the moment, we only offer virtual firewall. Basically, we allow customers to manage their own security policies. Okay. So basically, set of the offering today, what we offer is basically self-administrations, as with most of the providers, meaning we provide the resources to you, you administer your own resources down to patching and everything. But customers do have the option of subscribing to managed services from us. In terms of connectivity, standard connectivity is basically internet connectivity, all right? But certain customers, because of security reasons, they will subscribe to baselines or Megaport or Plus. So these are basically MPLS technologies. All right, Megaport is just a domestic MPLS that we offer in Singapore. This is standard pricing. Yeah. So we actually offer different pricing to governments and academics as well as commercial work. Yeah. Some of you might be interested in this. Basically, we use a lot of blade servers backend. We have around 300 nodes that work out to about 3,400 CPU core today. And we have different range of servers, be it the 5.4 series up to the inherent set of servers. Each server's minimum 2 sockets, per core each. We also have a 4-socket server as well. All right. Memory size, the minimum we have is 16 gig, ranges all the way to 96 gig. All right. Then in terms of storage, we have around a couple of SANs, different series of SAN storage, ranges from 4400 all the way to 8400. So in terms of capacity today, we have around 140 terabytes of storage today. Yeah. So in terms of connectivity from the servers to the storage, we typically we use fiber channel. All right, fiber channel connectivity. We can also go via iSCSI or NFS. Of course, in terms of performance, FC will give you the best performance among the three. For virtual machine, basically we can host anything that runs on Intel chipsets. All right. So be it 32 bits or 64 bits, we can host the case OSs. All right. Probably you'll just quickly run through some of the use cases that we have. Today, I think the biggest customer that we have is basically the Singapore Youth Olympic Games. even though the games was posted last year, the duration was just for 3 weeks. We actually started the project like a year ago, right? And for that deployment, it's really a good showcase for the cloud computing or pay-per-use kind of resources. And for that particular deployment, we actually deploy close to a couple of hundreds of servers, right? And besides the resources that we provide, we also provide full managed services, and that includes the 24/7 security incidents and event monitoring. So we do everything from server management, cache management, backup management, database management, plus security event monitoring 24/7 during the games. Yeah. Good to say that we actually achieve 100% of the SLA required. There's no downtime during the games.
Good question. Does
Yep.
your hosted service include the SIEM monitoring? So why should people monitor the SIEM, or
We monitor the SIM.
but it's like you pay extra?
Of course. Yeah. To be frank, no. The budget is not because of this. To be frank, the security incidents and event monitoring is never a cheap solution. So under this deployment set, we actually do consolidated log management as well. So if you're in the security space, you will know that in terms of log management and all that, if you use tools like RServe and all that, it's definitely not going to be cheap, right? So this is only for those customers that really need it, and it's on kind of on-demand basis rather than as a standard offering. Because if I put it as a standard offering, the price per call per hours would be really different, right? Not everybody needs it. So just now I mentioned that we can host different kind of workloads, be it high performance computing as well as the transactional kind of workloads. So I'll just quickly run through some of the use cases for high performance computing. So we have customers like from the financial side, whereby actually they leverage our resources to do multi-color kind of analysis, whereby they're actually harnessing a set of servers to do number crunching. Alright. So this is what we call virtual private cloud offering, whereby we cut out from our public cloud and dedicated the set of machines for customers for the durations of the projects and the contract. Alright. Actually, our very first customers is specifically IDA, whereby we host the Hadoop training as part of the IDA initiative to promote adoptions and awareness of our Hadoop framework. We actually did it, first installment we did it in November 2008 when we first launched the services. Alright, and we actually provide around 800 CPU core just for the training itself. Second installment was in April 2009. So the key thing is that when we did this project, we set out the job tracker and the name node as a physical machines, and the worker node we basically set it out as a virtual machine. And because we did spend some time in setting out the templates for the worker nodes, so the moment we instantiate the virtual machine templates, it automatically get added into the clusters of the Hadoop nodes. So it took us about 15 minutes to provision around 168 cores. So if you do it on physical machines, you take quite some time just to do it. Alright. This and our customer of ours, basically they use our computational power to do their CAD modeling. Right. The interesting part is that they are running their arcade nodes, which control the licensing in their own premises, but they only utilizing our resources to do the number crunching. Basically, to do the CAD modeling using a software called ANSYS. NUS Tropical Marine Science Institutions also use us for high performance computing. Basically, they use us for coastal erosion modeling, whereby we harness about 40 nodes just to do 100 years or 10 years kind of simulations on coastal erosion. These are our set of customers, whereby this is typically your web transactional kind of workloads. So if you look at the workloads, it's actually quite different set in terms of traffic as well. So if you look at high performance computing, typically the traffic is like what we call east to west kind of traffic, whereby if you look at transactional workloads, normally the traffic is from north to south, from your web tier to app tiers to database tier. So in terms of the infrastructure setup, you really need to spend some time to really kind of deploy it. These are customers or Yara. So basically, they are doing Web 2.0 kind of portals to support the reverse logistics in markets. So the deployment is basically 3K architecture, web apps, and database. And they actually do a high configurations with the Oracle real-time application cluster backend. Right? Not a trivial thing to set up. We have customers also like Alliance 3D, whereby they're actually hosting something like a Second Life virtual world kind of things within the environment. So for that deployment, we actually provide dedicated bandwidth to customers. All right. We're also leveraging the Intel content delivery network to offload the origin servers from for customers that need to download the installers. Because if we really going to size out the bandwidth, if every customer come in to to download the installers and to come into the virtual world, it's going to have a very big bandwidth. That's why we're actually using solution like CDN to offload different kind of traffic from the origin servers. Yeah, this is our customer. This customer actually is a fusion of police as well. Shenda actually is a very big listed company in US. They have 3 key business. One of the business is basically Shenda Games, or what they call Shenda Interactive. This is Shenda Literature. Basically, they are dealing with e-books, whereby customer like yourself, you can actually go to the portals and read the novels. They charge you probably like 1 cent, 2 cents per page. And basically what they're doing is basically building an ecosystem of the authors and as well as readers. So they provide a platform for the authors to come in to write stories, and basically they help them to manage the collections of money from the readers and all that. So it's a very successful platform, and there's a lot of traffic coming in. Excel, I think, took us, in terms of bandwidth, I think it took us about 10 to 20 meg of bandwidth in terms of number of users or readers coming in just to this particular website. Syntel itself, we also eat our own dog food. Basically, when we roll out new services, it's also hosted with us. Things like if you go to your App Store or Android marketplace, you can download applications like Syntel Go Shopping, as well as things like Price Up. When we launched the MBA services, we also launched this services called SITV, whereby customer can actually do search for video content as well. And if those of you who actually watch videos from a website called Tuto, are you familiar with Tuto? We actually did a lot of video content caching in our data centers. High definition. That's why the speed is fast, because the whole video content is hosted in Singapore. Yeah, that's the reason why recently when people start viewing the HD kind of content, the speed is much faster, because locally you can get the contents rather you go all the way to the origin servers in China. Alright, and the rest is basically our software as a service vendors. Right? I think that's all from my side. Any questions? Yep.
If you are tied to Amazon and you are using SimpleDB and SQS services,
yes,
to port over to your site,
you need to change. Unfortunately, because when you host with Amazon, right, you are changing your applications. Ours is basically transparent. Today, if you do your applications on Windows and it works on Windows, you port it to us, it should work. No changes. But because you did it in Amazon, you're using things like your SimpleDB and all that. Unfortunately, when you port it over to ours, you basically need to change your applications. That's one of the consideration when you do selections of your vendors for cloud computing, whether it's transparent to you or not. And when you outsource it, can you insource it back? That's one of the key considerations that you need to think about. Yep. Any other questions?
First is more for the IDA side. with the IDA cloud computing core, the kind of funding, can it be used for some of the examples of services that we highlighted? I mean, it's not really the creation of new knowledge per se.
Well, I think that's a good question actually. I wanted to clarify that although we talk a lot about R&D, the cloud computing program within IDA actually try to cater for the industry, R&D of course, and also the government track. So we will be happy to look at some of those proposals, although we do have some criteria to ensure that there is a genuine need for such a thing and not subsidizing businesses. So that's not what we want to do. Okay, thank you.